Call the City Council regular meeting Tuesday, June 9th at 6:30 PM to order. Roll call, Kaylee?
Councilmember Darms,
Here.
Councilmember Knight,
Here.
Councilmember Thompson. Here. Vice Mayor Grimm,
Here.
Councilmember Stafford. Here. Councilmember Richardson. Here. Mayor Marks.
Here. Okay, we're going to do the invocation and pledge allegiance. Mike Carroll? Everybody knows you.
Well, it's always a privilege to be here. Thank you so much for that privilege and that honor. Thank you. Father, we do thank you for this city. Once again, we pray blessing and peace and safety over this city. Thank you for, Lord, all you have done, how you've prospered and caused this city to grow. And we thank you so much for all that you've done and how you've watched over us. And we thank you for that. Now, tonight we ask you to be with our mayor, our city council, our city manager and clerk and attorney. Guide their decisions and guide their thoughts. Grant them wisdom, grant them understanding, grant them insight. So as they face difficult questions, that you would give them the wisdom that they need to make good decisions. And we thank you again for them, all the hours that they put in that both are seen and unseen. And we thank you for them. And thank you for our first responders. Thank you that they help watch over the city and protect it. And be with them now as they do that. Cover them and cover their families as well. And speak peace and safety over them. And again, we thank you. Again, continue to speak peace and blessing and safety over this city, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, number one, absences. 1A, shall the absence of Mayor Kelly Marks from the May 26, 2026 City Council meeting be excused? Council,
What do you need, a head nod?
I need a motion.
Oh,
I'll make a motion to excuse the absence of Mayor Kelly Marks from the May 26, 2026 City Council meeting.
I second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Kaylee, can you call a question? Any public comment on this? Okay, can you call the question, please?
Councilmember Knight,
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson. Yes. Vice Mayor Grimm,
yes.
Councilmember Stafford,
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson. Yes. Councilmember Darms,
Yes.
Mayor Marks.
Yes. Okay, 1B, shall the absence of Councilmember Lisa Richardson from the May 26, 2026 City Council meeting be excused? And we need a motion for that also.
Make a motion to accept Lisa Richardson's absence from the meeting.
A second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for the question.
Councilmember Thompson. Yes. Vice Mayor Grimm,
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford,
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson. Yes. Councilmember Darms,
Yes.
Councilmember Knight,
Yes.
Mayor Marks.
Yes. All right, so we got two absences that have passed with excused. 1C, shall the absence of Councilmember Dawn Thompson from the May 26, 2026 City Council meeting be excused? We need a motion, please.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse the absence of Don Thompson from the May 26, 2026 council meeting.
A second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for the question.
Vice Mayor Grimm,
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford. Yes. Councilmember Richardson. Yes. Councilmember Darms,
Yes.
Councilmember Knight,
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson. Yes. Mayor Marks.
Yes, and the absence of Councilwoman Thompson also is excused. Moving on to two presentations and proclamations. 2A, Code Enforcement Officer Appreciation Week proclamation. I'm going to have our Vice Mayor read that and present it.
City of Orange City, Florida proclamation. Whereas code enforcement officers play a vital role in protecting the health, safety, and welfare of our communities by ensuring compliance with local codes and ordinances. And whereas these dedicated professionals work tirelessly to maintain property standards, preserve neighborhoods' integrity, and enhance the quality of life for all residents. And whereas code enforcement officers often serve as first point of contact for addressing community concerns, demonstrating professionalism, fairness, and unwavering commitment to public service. And whereas their efforts contribute to the stabilization of property values, prevention of blight, and promotion of safety, health, and sustainable communities. And whereas code enforcement officers frequently perform their duties under challenging conditions requiring extensive knowledge of laws and regulations, strong communication skills, sound judgment, and a dedication to serving the public with integrity and respect. And whereas the code enforcement officers is essential to building stronger, cleaner, safer, more vibrant communities throughout the state of Florida and across the nation. Now there, Kelly Marks, Mayor of Orange City, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of January 1 through the June 1 through June 5, 2026, as Code Enforcement Officer Appreciation Week in the City of Orange City. A witness whereof I hereby set my hand and seal the official seal of the City of Orange City to be affixed on this day, June 9, 2026. Mayor Marks.
Officer Byers, you come on up. I'm going to present this to Officer Byers and staff here. Want to come on down, Council?
Take a picture.
I was going to say, do we want to center in front of the seal? Sorry. I was just thinking of the Orange City seal being in the background to be centered.
How observant.
Yeah, we shift just a little more.
Might be easy to move the seal.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to y'all, because I know that, like I said, it's a thankless job, and you hear a lot of things from different people, so it's not a job that I'd want to do.
It's hard.
Okay. Moving on to 2B, the administration budget presentation by City Manager Christine Davis.
Hi, good evening, Mayor, council members. The administration budget, the high overview, is that our personnel expenditures on this first slide, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be operating this, sorry. It's just magically. You can see that the amended budget to the requested budget is increasing less than 1% at this time, but it does exclude any recommended cost of living or pay adjustments, and it won't be reflective of anything that would take action, that council takes action on pertaining to the pay plan. That is underway, and we anticipate bringing that to council in July. Operating expenditures have a net increase of 7.8% or $5,000 proposed at this time. The capital requests are 2 desktop computers. They are, we have a replacement program, and it's time for 2 of the 5 in the department, not counting IT, because they have their own, but they would be in here too if it was for IT. But at this time, there's only 2 proposed replacements. Oops, are you helping me? No, I'm just not sure why I'm jumping around. I gotta go. So for general government, the large change here for personnel is the $150,000 that was appropriated to implement the pay plan will be removed in the requested budget. And then in operating, we had a net decrease of $12,000 and change. With regard to operating, we are looking at a recommended increase from $50,000 to $55,000 for other personnel services. Software, it's time to do a scheduled replacement for an Exchange server, And then we're funding the Chat GPT business. We are currently using it, and each department pays their own according to the approved users. And then your cyber backup, that is a renewal. And then for capital, you have a core router upgrade, and that is scheduled replacement according to our replacement program. Not a lot to really highlight in these smaller budgets, but that's what we're looking at as our review for tonight. Any questions?
Any questions, council?
All right.
Comments? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to 2C, City Council and City Clerk Budget Presentation. City Clerk Kaylee Burleson.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Kaylee Burleson, City Clerk. So we are going to start with the budget presentation. I have City Council and City Clerk. Ultimately, they're both just a couple slides. We will start with City Council. There is an increase to personnel services, roughly $60, or decrease, I'm sorry. And then there is an increase, a small increase of operating expense. This is mainly due to just inflation of cost of everything currently. There is a computer workstation replacement. That is the computer that is located in the mayor's office that all the council members are able to use. So that's part of IT's like upgrade schedule. I forget how many years they do it, but automatically they have the rotating schedule for the IT equipment. So that computer is for replacement of the mayor's office computer. For the city clerk, we have a slight increase of personnel services. From my understanding, that's mainly because of insurance rates and whatnot, so we're waiting on those final numbers. And I do have a small increase to our operating expense, that mainly to do with inflation. There's just small increases to multiple line items in the budget. But ultimately, just minimal changes to our existing budget. And that's all I have. Are there any questions?
I just have one question.
Go ahead.
The 320, if you can back up one second, 325, 324, 961 anyway. That encompasses the three, or is there more other people in city clerk operating budget for personnel?
That would include just the three individuals in my office, myself, the executive assistant, and the deputy clerk.
Any other questions, council? Comments? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I never seen presentations go so quick.
I hope to continue the trend.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Utilities budget presentation, Robert Lawler.
And Mayor,
Sorry, I should have said that until you were done.
I'll do my best. So Mayor, council members, I'm Robert. I'm the Utility Services Director. I'm going to go through the utilities budget overview. So if we're going to start with the water budget, if you don't mind, don't mind driving. So overview, personnel services, operating expense, capital outlay, and debt service. There's a increase in all categories. I would say negotiably, inflationary. And the following slides will show. So these are the additives. They don't necessarily show the progress that we've made and the projects we've accomplished. But the upcoming projects within this budget, few that I want to point out. So we'll go through. So the grant services, we increased that budget both in the water and the wastewater fund just to help us fund these current unfunded mandates in septic to sewer, in PFAS. We'll likely need some help to go chase some money from the DEP, from the EPA, from the federal government, from what have you, from FEMA, whoever we can. So that's to provide some out-of-staff assistance for that task. We have a unidirectional flushing program. So right now we're working with a consultant to design a program to make the water turn left here and right there and create good mazes and paths for the water to flush out and clean the system about once a year. So now this is the budget to actually execute that plan. And when you do that, you eliminate the iron that just can sit for years at the bottom of the pipe. So the other big one is the cross connection program. So we're in need of a refresh on that program. That program is important to make sure that the water going to individual households don't go back into the water distribution system, especially when properties have irrigations or pools, or some commercial properties have some irregular uses like a car wash or gas stations. A couple more. So some of our infrastructure is aged, including auto flushers. So we put in a budget just to get some replacement, as well as other miscellaneous parts. And then, so this is our first full year with the new green sand system, and with that, we underestimated the amount of chemical required. So you'll see that in the budget, that sodium permanganate, that's the chemical that's used to oxidize out the iron in the water at the main water treatment plant right down the road. So as far as capital projects go, so a few of these you'll see. The first two, these were in the Reclaim Water Master Plan and would utilize funds from the Alternate Water Fund, so not from the fund that would bill the customers actively. So this is the design services for those two. We also have the Park Hill to Junior Street Water Main Loop. This is a project to provide a secondary transmission line from the south side of the city to the north side of the city, because our only line today is along Veterans Memorial Parkway. A couple other of these jobs, the Lakeview, the service line replacements, and the Julia Avenue water main replacement. So these are lines that are made out of old galvanized metal, and we're looking to replace that with up-to-date materials, whether it's HDPE or PE pipe. And then last but not least, so we want to have a backup fuel tank at wells 6 and 7. Right now, there is a generator, there's a separate fuel tank, and it's aged, and we want to make sure that we have adequate water during a hurricane, because that is our primary source at the South Water Treatment Plant. Additional equipment, the largest piece of equipment on this one is the ground penetrating radar. As you know, there's a lot of cable companies working in town, and Marquis is the best locator, and the device that he's using is about 10 years old. So it's right about at its shelf life. We want to make sure we have in the budget to buy a second device and a replacement device, just in case that one breaks. And then in case, we have more cable companies at the same time, so you have AT&T, T-Mobile, and, Wire 3 or what have you, you can have a second staff member also out there assisting with locates. So right now we have one of these devices and a man that's very good at using it, but that thing could fail at any moment. We're also looking to have security cameras. So right now, this week, we're actually undergoing security camera upgrades at the main water treatment plant. So far, so good. So we're looking to do that same system that we have at Mill Lake Park out at our remote well sites. R&R funds. So these are funds that are used on an annual basis to, you can think of them as like high yield saving funds. These are your rainy day funds, to where you can have long-term projects to replace fire hydrants and valves. We don't need to inspect a ground storage tank every year, but when we do, it costs quite a bit of money. These guys are specialized. So you throw a little money at the pot every year, and then you can hire a huge chunk project. You can paint the ground storage tanks like we're looking to do this year. So, we put back 50 grand a year, then you can spend 150, 200,000 painting the tanks. So that's what the flurry of the projects are. So these are really making sure that we take care of the infrastructure that we have. The last three are projects that are in need of. We built a chlorine room at the main water treatment plant back in the late 90s, and now the door's eaten up with all the chemical over the years. That happens. Now we got to replace it. So that's what that $25,000 is there for at the end. So as far as position requests go, so the one is an annual request for a GIS intern to help our GIS analyst, Carlene, during the summer months. And then the other position I am requesting is a utilities processes manager. So this is a technical support for the director. I can speak for the current director that they wear many hats: administrative, managerial, technical, project management, and really to help streamline processes. The idea behind this position is to have somebody that can handle more technical and project management tasks, more so for somebody skilled and specialized, and then allow the director to be seeking funding for septic to sewer, for PFAS, and really handle administrative funding, and just making sure that, you know, they're the ones kissing babies and shaking hands and making sure that, you know, things are being messaged properly. And then the idea is this process manager would do the behind the scenes work, technical tasks, sit on the TRC that level. So you'll see that in the requests. So wastewater is a little simpler. So our personnel services is actually going down year over year. So I think it's because we transferred a staff member from wastewater to water. Operating is an inflationary number. I think capital outlay, right now we're not showing the $7.5 million pending grant coming for from the DEP for septic to sewer. So that's just a current project. So for wastewater, again, we have the grant services in there to help us seek funding for septic to sewer, you know, survey services. If we do projects, we need to make sure we're doing on public property. We're increasing the maintenance because we are getting new lift stations, new generators. We need to make sure that those things are being taken care of, and we're cleaning lift stations on an annual basis, as well as the asset management system that we're looking to create, so that we can document when we take care of our assets, how we're taking care of our assets, and when those things have their shelf life and require maintenance. So big devices on this side. So we have so this includes equipment as well as those same R&R funds. You put away money for a rainy day, so for your lift stations, to help inflow and infiltration for pipes that can potentially be impacted by stormwater, your manhole rehabs. There's some property acquisition required for a septic to sewer phase, so you have to acquire the property first before you can go to construction. And then we're also asking for a Ford F-350 with a crane for the wastewater staff. So we have one of these trucks today. It's pretty industry standard that every lift station mechanic on a fleet has one. The city currently has one, and this was actually in the shop for a couple months this year. So we are very lucky that we didn't have any issues happen in the middle of the night where we had to pull a pump and derag and stop. You know, we were able to get by, and we thank you guys for, improving in previous budgets, generators, bypass pumps, to where we do have redundancy in place. But in reality, redundancies can fail, and that's why we want to, have a second truck there. And that's what I have, pending any questions.
Any questions, council? Comments? I want to thank you. I always say you're one of the smartest people in the city, because you took me for a tour, a bunch of people for a tour at the Citizens Academy, and that's when it kind of clicked that you are a really smart guy. I just had to say that, and you know your stuff about this, so I appreciate that, and I feel honored that you're part of us to do this. But that's a big list, right? And that's a lot of things that are needed, and I know that a lot of our infrastructure is older, and so that's a challenge for your department, I'm sure, right? And, I think it's a challenge on where do you start, right? I know you have your rainy day stuff, and then, it's kind of like a home thing. What's your priorities, right? They're all priorities, right? So that's really hard. So I appreciate you doing that presentation and giving us a roundabout of what's needed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Good? Okay.
Robert?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Do we have any citizens' comments? Kaylee?
I do not have any more.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So we're going to move on to the consent agenda. And
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
hold on one second. Sorry, Vice Mayor. We are going to pull 4A for discussion. Do we need a council head nod for that, to do that?
Just a head nod's
just a head nod. Is that okay, council? Okay, all right. Now you can just, when you say your motion, just say excluding 4A.
Okay. So, ma-
Can we also pull C for discussion?
4C? Council? Can I get a head nod, council? Council?
sure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Okay, Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda minus 4A and 4C.
A second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any public comment on this? Okay, we'll bring it back for the question.
Councilmember Stafford? Councilmember Richardson?
Yes.
Councilmember Jarms?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Councilmember Tiampson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Mayor Marks?
Yes, and the consent agenda passes, excluding those two items. Moving on to 5, ordinances first reading, we have none. 6, public hearing ordinances second and final reading, we have none. 7, resolutions, we have none. Moving on
Excuse
to
me, Mayor?
8, discussions and,
We actually need to address items 4A and 4C.
I was told to address that
Or-
after.
4A is a discussion and action. The item that Councilwoman Thompson removed is a resolution.
Oh,
I was, so
okay.
we'll go to the resolution, which is the 435-26.
Okay, so we're going to do that under 7. 7 resolutions?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that.
No.
Okay, so 4C, resolution number 435-26. Mr. Waters, would you mind reading that?
Sure, this is resolution number 435-26, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Orange City, Florida, amending the annual operating budget for fiscal year 2025-2026 by adjusting revenue and expenses, repealing all resolutions or parts of resolutions in conflict herewith, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Thompson, I think, pulled that one?
Yeah, I did. Let's see, so looking at the attachment, I understand that there was a shortfall because a fence was presumably installed on the property when the property was owned by FDOT, and we assumed the property, or bought the property, or whatever, however we got, it was before my time. But the boundary fence for Mill Lake, I guess in order to move forward, we have to, less than $15,000 is the amount that we have to additionally pay. Given the fact that FDOT, I know that they give us funding for our roads and things like that, I just didn't know if if there was something in the, contract when we assumed the property that absolves them from this shortfall, if they knew that it was on private property.
Don't know, I haven't seen the contract.
Yeah, that was done, I'm trying to remember what year.
23?
No, we took possession of that pond prior to Mill Lake ever being constructed. So if I had to hazard a guess, I'm gonna say 2010 or 11. And so with that, we took on the responsibility when we took ownership of maintaining it. Recently, we had a resident come and show us a survey that showed that the property, that the fencing on the property is on, according to the survey, is on their property. And so they have asked the city to remove it. And so at this point, we can only assume that while it was owned by FDOT, that they put the fence there. We have no information otherwise. And so staff did recommend, based on them presenting the survey, that the fence be relocated off of their property. And it's just unfortunate that it didn't happen prior to us taking ownership or taking on the responsibility of maintaining that property.
So then we do not in fact know who put the fence there?
No, we're
So it's the
presuming.
property owner.
John might be able to say, add if, what research was done. Oh, sure, no.
Does that cover it all?
John, I believe the question is the fencing. How do we know that it wasn't the resident who put that fence up and not, instead of us presuming it was FDOT?
The fence material, the aging of it and everything is consistent with all the other fencing that starts at Blue Springs and follows the properties all the way over. It's all very consistent. It obviously is part of the fence that the DOT put up. So if we looked at old photographs in Google Earth Pro, you can look at historical photos and you can see that that fence was there for quite some time.
Okay, so we're just assuming that it was FDOT and then.
Yes, ma'am. It's a lovely family that lives there. At first, they didn't really have a problem with it, but their kids are starting to get older, and they would like to have the backyard for them to play. And fortunately, part of the septic to sewer project, we had survey that confirmed where the property line is. So when we move the fence, we know we will be off the property at that point.
All right, so that's the cost of it is $14,443.45 to remove the fence?
Yes, ma'am. We are using Beasley Construction. We use them for general construction work. It's on a piggyback contract with the city of Winter Garden. They have a very long list of pricing, and fencing is including in part of that pricing. Okay? All right.
Go ahead.
What's the length of the fence that has to be removed?
Oh, you had to ask me that. Hang on.
It's a good question.
That's very good.
I believe it's in their proposal.
Yeah.
$230 square yards.
That's regrading the yard. Install 6-foot galvanized fencing. It says LS 4, I think. What is LS?
They're installing it or are they removing it?
They're doing both. They're removing it off the property and we're reinstalling on our property line.
Yes, ma'am.
What does LS in that proposal stand for?
Pardon me?
LS?
Lump sum.
Lump sum. So I do not have the length, but it's $4,929 to install. But material is another lump sum.
But you just said the material, you're just moving it, right? It's not new material, or?
John, are we replacing it or just relocating it?
No, we're replacing it because the fence is old enough, the foundation is such that we can't recover the posts. In the fence material, we are going to replace all of it so that it's new and that it will withstand a long-term situation.
Yeah, I kind of see your point. If you don't know whose it was, why are we on the hook for it? How do we know it wasn't theirs? So, like, if you had your fence on my property and I didn't want to pay for it, I'm not saying they don't want to pay for it, but if I didn't want to pay for it, I could come to you and say, well, nobody knows who put this fence here, but I need a new fence.
Well, we have to get, first thing we got to do is we got to get right of entry from the property owner to enter their property to remove the fence. So, we're working cooperatively with them. It's really in our best interest to have a fence there to protect them from the park, from people coming from the park, and vice versa.
I think it could go either way. You could also say, you know what I mean? They could say, well, I didn't put it there and I want it off my property line, right? So
Right.
it could go either way, really.
I remember when they put the fence in, and the state of Florida put that fence in on that property. The property owners that's there now, they were not in that house. We also had the same problem. So the state just came out and they just, so the owners, I know the owners did not put that fence there. I'm one of the property owners that's along that way, and the state of Florida did do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. We got a witness. There you
So
go.
Shall be said.
Problem solved. Thank you. All right, any other discussion on this item? Okay, we'll just have to bring it to a motion.
Motion to put it back in?
Yeah, that's the number.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a resolution number 435-26,
make a
to move
motion?
forward with that. Yes, I made a motion.
You said a resolution.
Oh,
You said I'll make a resolution.
I'll make a, how about a
Motion
motion on a
for
resolution?
There you go.
There you go. I'll second.
We got a motion, we got a second. Any public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for the question.
Councilmember Richardson? Yes. Councilmember Darms?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Councilmember Tiampson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Mayor Marks?
Yes, and resolution number 435-26 passes. Okay, we'll move on to, we're going to go to 8A, which is consideration of sponsorship special event request for Cirrhosis Club of Orange City, Summer Splash Bash, SPEC 03264470 at Veterans Memorial Park, and annual haunted house event SPEC 04-26-4503. And Lizette Santiago is presenting.
Hello, good evening, Mayor, Council. Yes, so today we have I'm presenting the two well-known events in the community. One is the Summer Splash Bash, SPEC 03264470, and one is the Haunted House, SPEC 03264470. Oops. 4503 is the ending on that one. So we received these two sponsorship requests and the organization from the Cirrhosis Club. All right, hold on, let me get my stuff here together, I'm sorry. Okay, so Summer Splash Bash, so here we go. The Splash Bash is scheduled for Saturday, August 1st, 2026, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Veterans Memorial Park. Planned activities include inflatables, water activities, and games. Free watermelon drinks and school supplies will be handed out. The total expected attendance for this event is approximately 250 attendees. The total value of the requested in-kind services is $320, which includes $120 for parks and maintenance, $125 for pavilion rentals, including electric, $50 for their special event application fee, and $25 for their sign permit fee. That's the breakdown. The sponsorship committee convened on May 27, 2026 to review the request, and we recommended approval of in-kind services for the Summer Splash Bash. The Cirrhosis Club is also putting on the Haunted House, which is scheduled for Saturday, October 22nd through the 31st, from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. at their facility, which is at 222 University Avenue, Orange City. This is a fundraiser, and monies will be raised with the sale of entry tickets, food, and novelties. The total expected attendance at this event is about 1,700 people, over the range of their dates. The total value of this requested in-kind services for this one is $235. Which includes $110 for park maintenance, $50 the special event fee, and $75 for their sign permit fee. They'll have 3. We also convened on May 7th about this one. We reviewed and we recommend approval of in-kind services for the Cirrhosis Club Haunted House. Our recommended motion is to approve both special events, SPEC 03264470 and SPEC 04264503 for both of the Cirrhosis Club events, Splash Bash and their Haunted House.
Thank you. Council, any discussion or questions on this? Okay, we just need a motion.
Public comment?
Huh?
You need comment or no?
Not until we go to the,
Okay, well, I'll make a motion to, as you stated, so moved, the motion that you just stated.
Okay.
we have a motion, we have a second. Any comments from the audience tonight? No? public comment? Okay, we'll bring it back for the question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Councilmember Richardson,
Yes.
Councilmember Jarms,
Yes.
Councilmember Knight,
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm,
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford,
Yes.
Mayor Marks.
Yes, and the sponsorship request is granted for the Cirrhosis Club, 2 events. For SBEC 0326-4470, SBEC 0426-4503. Okay, moving on to 4A from the consent agenda. To approve amendment number 1 to work order number 259-23, water treatment plan, deep well, lower Floridian aquifer, exploratory well program engineering services. Robert Lawler.
Yes, ma'am. So council, mayor. So this amendment is to the engineering technical services for the LFA exploratory well project going on along Kentucky Avenue. As can be understood, I would hope, with a deep well project. The well project was originally intended to drill down as deep as 1,400 feet below the ground to see if that water could be worthwhile for serving the city of Orange City without impacting our consumptive use permit. Once we got down to about 1,000 feet, we learned that the water was so it had a lot of specific conductivity and was very had a lot of salinity, very brackish and salty, and was not able to be used for our services without a massive amount of investment for water treatment. Once we found that, we still wanted to better understand that process, but so in order to do so, we had to do some targeted testing at those deep depths. When we went to install the testing equipment, we ended up having it where the drill hole was not large enough to fit the testing equipment, so we had to run a second bigger drill bit through that 1,000 foot to clean that hole out to where we can install that testing equipment. From there, we did a targeted test from 800 to 700 feet and from 700 to 600 feet just to see that water quality, because we won't dig down that deep ever again. So while we had that hole deep and open, let's figure out what that water looks like. In doing so, we found that the water wasn't usable. Just confirmed that with further testing. Then we went to back plug that, fill it with grout, so then we wouldn't have that water impact us going forward. So now we are currently developing the water at a depth of 400 feet. But at this point, that development is taking longer than expected. So with those 2 larger delays, that's why we're needing to extend this to continue the testing, to continue the project. So they're just about out of hours, the engineering firm is. And so Paula is a PhD in engineering. She's with Plummer. She's here tonight if you wish to hear from Plummer directly. But so here to answer any questions you may have on the process.
I had a question. You said it was taking longer than expected and we're almost out of hours. Is that what you said?
Yeah, so when an engineering firm builds their scope, typically it's on time and material. So there's not many materials involved, so really it's based off of how many staff members they have and the amount of hours that those staff members have to invest. So part of that, they have a subcontractor that has a licensed hydrogeologist where they know everything about, subsurface, depths of the earth, the type of, dirt and rock and those type of things. And they have their sampling processes, and they've had to sample a lot more than they were originally expecting.
And then the other question I had was, when you went down that deep for the water and the quality just wasn't there, do you think that comes from the septic tanks? I know. Do you think? I'm not saying as a fact.
I don't think so. But
okay, I was just curious.
Paula may be able
it's
to.
interesting that if you don't go that deep, the water is better, but the deeper you go, it's not, and we're right on top of the aquifer. So that's what I was trying to understand, because it's interesting. So.
Yeah. So the issues we encountered with that water quality are high chloride levels, and so it's just a brackish water. We wouldn't necessarily see that from septic
Oh, okay.
It's more just the water quality of that lower Florida aquifer is expected. We just weren't expecting that high of a saline water.
What do you think that the characteristics are that made it that way, though?
That's just the nature of
Okay.
that aquifer. Mm-hmm.
I got you. Any other questions, Councilwoman Knight?
Are you saying that you're gonna drill in a different spot, but drill at a shallower depth of 400 feet?
So essentially what we did to start the project, you drill a hole, and based off of what we know about the city's water, that the best water quality in the city is along Kentucky Avenue and Country Village. Those customers do have the best water. We don't have to have fancy filters to get the iron out. You know, that water is clean. So based off of that, the city had a multi-year plan to purchase property around the well to create a buffer for that protected water, for that good water, and then expand that facility. So this was our first shot to put a hole in the ground. And as we were digging the hole in the ground, at about 200 foot, you set a steel casing, and then you drill 50 foot, and you pull a sample. Then you push another 50 foot deeper, and you pull another sample. And you go to another 50 foot, you pull a sample. Go another 50 foot, you pull a sample. So you're hitting all the way down. As you hit down, then you pull it out, then you pull the water out, then you test it. Then you hit down again, pull the water out. So you're kind of testing it as you go down. So we're getting a good picture. And then as we kept going, we go, oh my gosh, okay, we're seeing a dipping point to where it's just exponentially, has that water quality. And once we really confirmed that, then we put the brakes on it, and we said, okay, well, now that we got this hole this deep, before it went off the deep end, and it was a productive spot, let's at least pull some water out of here and see what it looks like, and see if it's treatable or not. Or treatable to a process that makes sense to our staff and our team and our our residents. So same hole.
So do you plug that same hole up to 400 feet, or do you go dig another hole down to 400
So
feet?
what we end up doing, it's like what the oil rigs do. So they end up using a trimmy, and they pour like a low strength concrete. So it's a concrete like you pour your sidewalk, except for it's got more water than you do cement, and you're pouring that down into the hole, and you're filling up the hole a little bit at a time to make sure, because when you drill this hole in the ground, you do have little fractures here and there, and that's how the water gets into that hole when you suction it out. So you're kind of putting some route in there, let it settle for a little bit, and then you put more concrete in. Then you let it settle, put some more concrete in. So this is what we ended up doing. Concrete. Now we did that. We're at about 400 foot deep. So now we're full bore, pumping that thing 40 hours a week. And we're seeing water quality improvement, but it's not at the point to where we're ready yet to do our pilot testing science experiment on Kentucky to figure out what the best system is to treat that water.
Do you think the green sand filters help in that particular thing?
So the green sand is really good at treating iron.
Okay.
There's the potential, I'm not sure Paula can expound about the iron level that we originally saw when we were digging down 50 feet. But so green sand, if there's iron there, green sand will work great. But if it's stuff like, that PFAS or organics, like a chloride or a bromide, those type of things in the water, green sand won't do that job. And that's where we'll have to look at. We're likely going to look at the same technologies we tested at the South Plant with the granular activated carbon and the ion exchange that John and Paula presented with me last meeting. But until we really get those samples pulled and those off to the lab, we'll have a better technical report prepared by Plummer before we bring a bunch of science equipment out there to test it out.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else? No? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we would just need a motion for that. And that would be 4A.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve consent agenda item 4A, approve amendment number 1 to work order number 259-23. Do I need to read the rest of it, or is it just enough to do the
Good enough.
A? Okay.
I
perfect.
second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any public comment on this? Okay, we'll bring it back for the question.
Councilmember Jarms?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Councilmember Tiampson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson?
Yes.
Mayor Marks?
Yes, and work order number 259-23 is approved for the amendment. Okay, moving on to reports. City manager report?
The city manager's report tonight consists of a legislative special session update. This is information that we've been sharing. High level is first year, should it pass in November, the homestead exemption would go to 150, and the second year would go to 250,000. And projected revenue loss or reduction, it varies. First year is 1.3 million, second year is 2 million. Page 2, we have had some significant rain or weather events in the month of May. These rain events amount to 50 to 100-year storms in an afternoon of no weather, warning. They just kind of blew up and caused significant flooding in the areas of industrial for the first 2 days, which I believe were like May 21st and May, I don't remember, 22nd. They were back to back, 2 days in a row. So what we've included in this report are some pictures because they tell the story. The first one we highlighted was we did experience flooding in the police department. It was minor. We were able to mitigate it and not have any damage, just cleanup efforts. We've had to implement using the storm gates every day. The storm gates were purchased for during weather events like a hurricane, but given this situation, we're erecting them every day, and they are on hand should we have rain start and need to shut up. But unfortunately, once we put those gates up, that operation is shut down. Citizens can't get in, don't get access to the phone. And we're also doing some research on the stormwater. It appears to have gotten overwhelmed, but it's just sharing that, we did experience both events, one in the industrial area and one in the city's Holly Avenue adjacent to the police department. The Historic Register application is moving forward. The Historic Preservation Board will be taking action on that on June 18th, and then it will come before council on June 14th. The next page shows the pictures of what the area on South Thorpe is the backside to where the flooding actually came in from. So the rainfall transferred in off of Thorpe down into the hole, which ended up flooding the building on the corner. The picture at the top is before construction began. You can see some grassy area. The second picture is during, and it shows the area was being prepped, and there was a gully in there, but there's no erosion control because it's arguably under construction. We approved some emergency work, and the contractor got in, and the bottom 2 pictures are the after work. And it did hold up under the next rain event, but arguably the amount of rainfall there was less than what we experienced here at Holly. Also, we went and met with Senator Wright this past Wednesday, and it's an overview of some of the things we discussed regarding what can we do to help lobby for our items funded in the budget for the police and fire facilities, along with what he's doing himself to help keep both funding items in the budget. And that completes my report. If there's any questions?
Any questions for the manager? Councilwoman Tiampson?
I saw a lot of back and forth emails and Facebook, social media interest in the South Thorpe Avenue. Do we have any insurance claims coming from that? Has anybody claimed any insurance loss?
Not to my knowledge. When I met with some of the property owners, they sustained damage to vehicles and the building, and those claims first go to their private insurance,
So
not to
not
the
yet.
city.
Okay.
I don't anticipate any.
Okay.
So, but you never know. I mean, people can do what they do, but at this point, we've received nothing in the city.
Okay, gotcha.
Any other questions for the manager? I actually have a comment and a question. So I noticed that West Blue Springs took a hit on that also,
Oh, yes.
like it usually does, West Blue Springs where Knuckle Sandwiches, that
That
down that way.
intersection.
And we
yes.
know that's one of our problems in the future that we're trying to fix. But it's, if I remember on the list, it was kind of not right away. And it was just a typical rain, and these places were flooding out. And so, what is our plan for hurricane? Because did we purchase the Tiger dams yet?
We have no funds, no items in the budget, to my knowledge, for Tiger dams. I will have to report back on that. Tiger dams going where?
Wherever we need them during hurricane season, because I know, like, last time we got hit by the hurricanes, we had ran some, they weren't Tiger dams, but other piping that went from John Knox, I believe, around the corner to, you know what I'm
To
talking about.
alleviate the
Rhode
flooding
Island.
on Rhode Island.
Right,
correct.
right. And so, and that was a good fix for that, so that road wasn't shut down. But West Blue Springs is really bad. And if you all remember, there was a gentleman that came in here, I think it's been a hurricane 2 years ago now, and he came in and his whole house was devastated from it because he lives on the corner by a property that has a small retention pond. And I don't know what happened, what the end result was that, because he doesn't live there anymore, I don't think.
No,
right?
he sold the property.
He sold the property. He had no choice. He was devastated, and it's right in that plain, that flood plain that we haven't dealt with yet. And so, I guess I'm asking if we can somehow move that up on the list, because it's.
There's two things. One, that.
Excuse me, I wasn't
Oh, I'm
finished.
so sorry. My apologies.
So I want to move it up on the list because there's many properties along West Blue Springs that it affects, and businesses, and hurricane season, we never know what's going to happen, right? So I'd like to be proactive with it, and I know we have lots of other floodplains that we have to think about, but I actively saw it happening last week when it was just a hard rain. It wasn't a hurricane, and that's scary. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. So the rain events actually mounted to hurricane levels, 5 to 100-year levels. The intersection at West Blue Springs, which is at, it's actually Blue Springs and 17, is a state road.
Yes.
And so we're working with the Transformation 386 project. That will help alleviate some of that, because that water that flows off of that road flows to Mill Lake. And so once we have implemented and built that project, that would help relieve it. But I did go by Park. The area there did not. The pond rose, but by the next day, it never overflowed. I could clearly see the water mark. It was about a foot, and it had already receded by the next day. So this is really like a hot spot situation.
You're talking about Mill Lake?
No, I'm talking about the pond at Park that flooded, that
Okay.
area that flooded, that ultimately flooded the Park houses. There were
Did
2
we pump
houses.
out Mill Lake before that rain, or were we prepared for
Know
that?
about it.
Okay.
These were afternoon thunderstorms that amounted to 50-year to 100-year rain events that we would see during a tropical storm or a small hurricane. There's some data that engineering provided, and I issued through the email, that explained the calculations. And I think they're in this too, that there's calculations that we did based on the amount of time and the amount of rainfall that was documented, that then helped us back into what was that equal to. And it is not a standard afternoon thunderstorm. I spoke to different council members who experienced 12 inches of rain in a swimming pool in an afternoon storm, not normal. So we were out, once the rain happened, we were out documenting. And these were really big hot spots. 2 days in a row, that hot spot was off of Thorpe. And then a week later or so, it was here. But it did not have a very vast, spread. It was big. It affected a lot of areas. We had localized flooding on Levitt that we've documented. And then there's another one. It might be North Orange, I think we went out, or Thorpe. But we've got some hot spots that we've been looking at. But with what I was saying is we will be prioritizing, we're at 60% design for that Transformation 386 grant. Once it gets to 100, we plan to bring it back, and we'll be going, to bid depending on, do we have enough money to do the project? We had a meeting on it today. It's looking positive, but we've got some work to do. But that will help alleviate that, and I'll work with staff, and we'll provide a little update on stormwater. I'm not aware of any tiger dams that the city is proposing to purchase and use anywhere. What we did was we presented the stormwater master plan and then adopted rates. But all of our projects are typically 1 to 3 year design, and you don't see construction until after that. And we do have things in design, but actual construction, there's really nothing to be able to prioritize and be able to construct until we go through that design process.
So on Blue Springs, if you're all familiar with the borrow pits down that way, right? Down the
That's
end
on French.
Oh, that's French, okay. So I know, when Dale was here, we had talked about the Blue Springs and the how it floods there. And there's if you're all familiar with the Lions Club, how that was underwater for a while when we had the hurricanes hit, and now they moved out. There's no saving that building. It's pretty much done. But behind that is another pond, and there's businesses all surrounding that pond. And so that's another major problem in that particular area. I just wanted to bring that up, that in that, what do you call it? I just said it a minute ago.
Development?
No. Huh?
Vicinity?
Yeah, okay, that'll work. Sorry. But that whole area right there is all hooked to that pond. And so Dale had said a couple years ago about maybe pumping it down the road somewhere. I don't know where she had in mind or anything, but I didn't think it was Mill Lake, because I thought she said that Mill Lake could probably not hold the capacity of West Blue Springs when it was trying to take care of East Blue Springs.
Yeah, I believe the Marshall Pond is the pond that
That's
has
it.
caused,
I couldn't think of it.
caused the flooding, and that too will be included in pumping out to the borrow pit.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
So I just wanted to put
60%
that on your
design, we're
radar.
hung.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Moving on to the city clerk's report.
I do not have a report tonight, so we are right in the middle of election qualifying week. So it's been a very busy 2 days so far. It closes Friday at noon. So I will definitely have an update for the next city council meeting, but right now we're just working on qualifying all of our candidates, so.
Didn't you have a couple people drop out, though?
I have had a couple people drop out. Patricia Wall has dropped, Cassandra Jones, of course, Dawn Thompson, but that was announced at a previous meeting. But those are the 3 individuals at this time, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions, anybody? No? Okay, thank you. City Attorney.
Okay, council, we had a big week last week in Tallahassee, tax reform. I think everyone probably knows the high points. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't even know if it's going to even make it on the ballot, because there is rumors of lawsuits being filed challenging the constitutionality of the ballot amendment. So it's an eternity between now and November. And it becomes effective January 1st. If it passes, it has to be voted on by 60% of the voters. Not 60% of the registered voters, but 60% of the people that vote. So that's an important distinction. You won't see it in next year's budget. You won't see it until the year after. So I think 2028 is when you'll see the first impacts. All of our cities are scrambling, trying to figure out ways to make cuts and how to make up the shortfalls. The average number for a city this size is between 1 and 2 million. So, any questions about the potential budget amendment or tax reform or what's going to happen next?
Any questions, council?
No question.
Okay, I'll
Thank
keep you
you.
updated in the future if anything changes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Concludes my report.
Okay, number 10, new business. Any new business? Councilwoman?
Yes, Madam Mayor. In meeting with some of the legislators today at the forum, I would like to bring the fire assessment back to our next council meeting, if possible, because from what we can understand in that meeting, it's a dire need that we have other resources that we can pull from. And I would really like for us to really get a true understanding. Go talk with your legislators and see what they're saying about this. Because in the meeting that we went to this morning, they encouraged it. So I would like to see if we can have that brought back at our next council meeting. City Clerk, City Manager.
Councilwoman Thompson, did you have a comment?
No, I had new business.
Okay, let's go, do you want to, so we're going to do a head nod. Do you want to bring this back again? We just beat this to death, but do you want to bring it back?
Not at this time. no.
Do a head nod. Because we talked about bringing it back later after we figure out what's happening.
And the only thing I said, if you speak with your legislators, they would tell you exactly what's happening.
I've been following, thank you. Okay, let's do a head nod. Do you want to bring it back, council? We'll go down the line. Councilman Knight? Okay, Richardson? Thompson?
No.
Darms? No?
Yes.
And it's a no, so it's coming back.
Perfect.
4-3.
I've got something for new business.
Okay, go ahead.
So, kind of piggybacking off what you're trying to do here, I would like to, for new business, since we need to look and see what kind of challenges that we're going to face, I think that it would be so much more advantageous if the jobs that are in place, like city clerk, city manager, everyone that is in charge of the city budget, goes through and looks at those things that can be cut or can be modified. I know in our own budgets we have at home, we have things that just kind of like we pay for all the time and we don't use it as much as we think we should, or we don't. And I think the same thing occurs with the city, and some of the priorities that we have right now, I don't think are true priorities for our constituents. I think they're priorities for this is my wish list kind of thing. So I think we should go back and we should look at some of the costs and expenditures and bring that up back for new business. I got some ideas.
So are you asking for new presentations from each department with priorities?
I'm thinking that we need to do that. I think that we should look for ways to cut funds. I think we should look for that and be prepared. I don't think we should just look for an assessment to add to. I think we should look for some more funds.
Okay, do you want me to comment?
Direction, I would say, would be to task each of your managers, city manager, well, ultimately it'll fall in your lap, because, you're the city manager. So
Okay.
figure out where we can mitigate some of our costs. Do we need, I'm just bringing this up, this is not what I'm asking you to do, but $6,000 for ChatGPT. Can we be a little bit more creative with our own writing than asking AI to do it? Those kind of things. So I'm just saying, can we find some things that we can save money on?
Okay, so before we have any discussion, council, we're asking, do we want to bring this back to have discussion?
Right.
Okay.
Yep. So that's the new business that I'm trying to bring up.
Did you want to make a comment, though?
Yeah, I agree with Councilmember Thompson. This goes back to when I had originally talked about doing a process flow and workflow
Okay.
to find efficiencies and stuff of that nature.
Okay, so you say yes?
Yes.
Okay. Can I get a head nod, everybody? Okay, we'll bring that back. Thank you. Any other new business? Go ahead.
Another question on what Councilwoman spoke on just now. Can we do, is it too much trouble to do like a workshop so they can go into details as to what we're spending our monies on, how we can go? Would a workshop work better, or just have them present it to us in an open meeting, or?
I mean,
I think once it funnels to the city manager, she should be able to articulate it.
So let me jump in here. This is just a yes or no. Do we want to bring it back to talk about it? And Councilwoman Stafford's asking, should we put it into a workshop, right? We just went through, I know I missed the first part of the presentation because I wasn't here. I think a bunch of us weren't here, right? But I know that they draft these presentations and they take time to do all that, you know? I did see a little different this year than normal. For the last 7 years of me being on the council, I felt like it was kind of light, which made me feel like maybe you don't need that much, which is good, but except for Public Works, obviously, because, you know, there was a long list on there, which is expected. But my point is I think I'm getting what Councilwoman Thompson's saying is we're seeing a wish list, but what's the priority? What's the top, like I didn't hear the police presentation. I'm sorry I wasn't here, but generally you would see like, I need 3 officers, I need this, I need that, and that's my high priority. And then, you know, because I almost asked that during the presentations, like, what's your top one? What's your second one? What's your third one? And I don't think that was clear tonight for me. I don't know about you all, but so I think that's why is that what you're going? We need a little more clarification of detail of what.
So, no, I'm looking for cuts, actual cuts.
Okay.
I see what you need, I want to see what you can cut. That's what I
Okay.
want.
Okay, you, go ahead.
Yeah, what I believe, if I'm understanding and following, yes, Ms. Thompson or Councilmember Thompson is asking for something different. We will be having the budget will be issued by August 1st. In there, you will get that detail. What did they ask for? We give you probably a 200-page document that shows how many officers, you know, chief wants, how many fire personnel. And that's where I said, we don't know what we're going to need to set the millage rate out because we have to get through that process. We know the overall objective would have been to, you know, reduce it by
Yeah.
whatever we, you know, generated. But we'll get into that, and we'll also have a workshop. We'll work with you guys once the budget, we immediately schedule those one-on-ones. But I think going into that, I'm hearing, where can you cut? And basically, we're looking for a head nod so that we can bring back to council a budget that would include cuts.
Yeah.
But the only thing is like, just from experience, that when these departments put their budgets together, I think they have that in mind. What do I need to not put on here? Because I can't, you know what I mean? I didn't hear that much tonight, but I'm saying, like, usually it's like, well, we really need this, but we really need this more, you know, so we're gonna take that off. And then the other thing is each department comes up here and presents of what their needs are. And usually that's what I was trying to say, is like the police department would have said, and I didn't hear yours, but I need 3 officers, or I need body cams, or and this is what I need. And then we would all look at each department and go, okay, this is what I think they really need individually. And then also, you said you'll give us a 200-page document, you know, the whole budget, which could be very overwhelming for some people up here when you look at it and you sit down and read a 200-page document of every department and all their budget needs versus when you did it separately. It's easier for us to see that view of each department, and that's why we do that, right? But I guess what you're saying is we didn't see the cuts, so go ahead.
So let me clarify.
Okay.
We're going to go into budget season and we're going to see all of these things that they want and what they need and all of that kind of thing. I think that it would be very productive for the city manager to poll and work with her department heads to figure out what they can streamline in our city.
Yeah.
And then it would be up to her to put that into, you know, that's her job, to put that into some sort of situation where we can look at it and go, okay, yes, we have a wish list, yes, we have a want list, but let's see what we can do for our city, because we are faced with the fact that we might be getting tax cuts.
Yeah.
So that's what I want for new business.
Don't
Does
you
that
already
make
do
sense?
that, though?
No, normally we come in
Okay.
with a budget. We know what you've approved. We know what services we've been providing. And so when
Bless you.
we are always ready to look at what you can cut, but first and foremost, the dollar value comes from personnel. You know, you have 70% of your, give or take, of your budget is personnel. So depending on what the target is, and this is like a little exercise. So the state has already adopted some new legislation that's going to require this council next year, who's here, to cut the budget 10%, not the city manager. I can't do it for you. So this year will be a trial where I'll be the one showing you what it could look like if with cuts, because next year I won't be allowed to do that. You will be tasked with developing a budget that's cut. And so we can use this as an exercise to meet that, because that's also something that the state, along with a laundry list of stuff of, different bills and what they need.
And you're not allowed to guide us at all, or say this is what I think should be done, because
They're-
you're the manager.
It's developing. You're going to be adopting your budget calendar earlier, December, I believe. For instance, January, you'll be adopting your budget calendar. We used to bring it to you somewhere between January and March. It's now mandated we bring it to you. And then you all have assignments from the state, and that is to cut the budget. Correct, Evelyn? Correct. So I'll let him expand. I know I'm not on the right topic because this is new business, so I apologize.
I just want to clarify. So it is an exercise of cutting the budget 10%. It doesn't mean you have to adopt that
Correct.
budget. They just want you to go through the exercise so that maybe you say, oh, look, we could actually cut that. And so maybe you end up with a 5% cut in the budget.
Well, look at me being proactive. So I'm just saying, I think that we should do that for new business, and some departments may not have any cuts. They might be bare bones as it is, but I think it's up to us to look at that, so.
Okay, so we all okay with that, right? I think we said yes.
I think you said
I lost track at that point. Okay. All right, any other new business from the council? Okay, moving on. We already did the approval minutes, council and mayor's comments. Vice Mayor, you got anything?
Just that this morning we saw Rolly, elected people, and it was very informative. All the delegates that were there,
Yeah.
that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Darms? Microphone.
Hello. I have a question. Are we allowed to commemorate a particular business?
We do that already. We have the facade awards, is it?
I mean, on a personal level.
Oh,
Yeah, I think you're talking about.
so that would be, if you wanted to do that, that would be under new business. And we already passed that.
It's just a compliment.
Okay, so I would suggest if that's something that you want to do, you could bring it back next meeting under new business and ask if we would do that. Is that correct?
It really depends. I don't know. It
It's
sounds
just
like
it's
she
just a
wants to
compliment.
say
Oh, if
a
you just want to
compliment
say
to.
something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
you're in comments.
Yes.
You know, we have
Make it
different-
short. No, I'm just
different-
kidding.
You know, we have different businesses here and there, and I just jumped on board with one of them.
Don't tell me you forgot their name.
No, Fun Day Sundays. If you want really great ice cream, I just started going there, and it's like, wow, very good, very
So
good.
don't
And
advertise,
they're
just
fairly-
just give them a compliment.
and they're fairly reasonably priced, I mean, for what you get, so.
Hand out
I
coupons.
just wanted to commemorate them because they are very, very good. And there's a lot of other ice cream places around here, so they deserve the recognition.
Thank you. Councilwoman Thompson? Okay, Councilwoman Richardson? No? Councilwoman Stafford?
Not today.
Councilwoman Knight? No. Okay, I just have a couple things. I'll be quick. Let's see. Kaylee, I'm not going to be going to the League of Cities this year. I decided not to go, and I wanted to tell you that in enough time. Just decided that I want to save the taxpayer money after thinking about what we talked about. And I've been there for, well, it would be my 8th year, so I'm going to let you all take it and come back and report. And hopefully that will save some money since we're pitching pennies here. And Freedom and Fireworks. I will not be there because I just bought a new camper. It's my bucket list camper, and I'm going camping for the week. So I will not be there. So Vice Mayor, I'm going to need you to take the stage, okay? Which he's good at that. I'm sure it'll be wonderful, and I'm really happy that y'all did the flags this year. So I won't be there to hand out the flags, but you all can hand out the flags, and it's a beautiful sight to see everybody holding their flags up in the field. So I wanted to let everybody know ahead of time that I would not be at that. Let's see what else. I think that's all I got. So with that being it, I just need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We got a motion, we got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Okay.
And it's only 7:50.
All right.
How about that?
Want to bring it up?
That's a shocker. I told everybody 11 o'clock easily. Usually the presentations are long, you know?
Oh, you accomplished.
Don't worry about it.
So usually they charge you 2X, and then they charge you for so many pings on it.
We have some business, it's flat, $25.
Because Signal was looking into it says we were doing it was gonna cost us X amount a month, then up to X amount of usage, it was gonna pay you for every time you use it.
And I believe it's not every,
Is it per user or is it
nope, per me, they pay $20.
Okay. How often is this workstation utilized?